US Open has returned, and day one has given us some big stories to tell. Holger Rune out of the US Open in straight sets. We have a new teen sensation on the women's with Iva Jovic knocking out Magda Linette. And a couple of the old guard bid farewell to the US Open for good as Dominic Thiem and Thiem Schwartzman wave goodbye. And of course, it's business as usual for Djokovic and Sabalenka. That's right, we're back in America, back at Flushing Meadows. And if you haven't done so yet, smash a like, subscribe. Let's go through day one and all of the talking points. And no better place to start than this amazing picture that came out before the tournament saying tennis's biggest stage is set. And we've got all of the big guns there. And look at this. What a fantastic image that is. Absolutely love that. But let's get stuck into the action, and where better place to start than Holger Rune's exit? I mean, I didn't see this coming. I thought it was going to be a tough match, but I thought he was going to be able to get through it. And as Jose Morgado says here, he got defeated 6-2, 6-1, 6-4 in less than 2 hours. And it was a terrible round one draw for Holger Rune. We knew it was a bad draw for him, but you'd think he would have something that he could just dig deep and pull out a result here, even if he had to go to 5, something like that. But the scoreline, yeah, it's just very poor from him. A tough season. And I thought he was actually looking not that bad coming into this tournament. I mean, we know that he, obviously in Cincinnati, he played and got all the way to the semi-finals. He beat the likes of Draper, Monfils, Borges, lost to TFO in the semis. I mean, before that, he played in Montreal and he lost to Sasha Zverev. That was in, I believe, the round of 16. But it's just so inconsistent with Holger Rune right now. If he wanted to be considered amongst the next generation of players who's coming through and really competing for big titles, something needs to change. And at the moment, I'm not going to take anything away from Brandon Nakashima. I thought he was fantastic in this match. So aggressive, so powerful, and really attacked Holger Rune's second serve. It didn't have anything on it, and Nakashima really knew what he was doing. I'll show you some of the stats here. Winners, 23 for Nakashima, only 23 unforced errors, so pretty even on his. Holger Rune, 19 winners, 30 unforced errors there. I mean, did well at the net though, Holger Rune, 18 out of 21 points won, but it didn't prove to matter. Just didn't seem to have the fighting edge. I'm not sure what was going on there. Is it because Nakashima was in America? I mean, playing in front of the home crowd, they were cheering him on, but he just seemed to be playing 10 times better than Holger Rune. I thought how aggressive Brandon Nakashima was playing. Holger Rune hung in rallies with him, but there didn't seem to really be an end product often enough. Whereas Nakashima, I mean, this is the type of performance I've been expecting from him for a long time. And I'm talking years now, from when we first started the podcast about 4 years ago. I was singing his praises then. I expected him to jump onto the scene and be more where Holger Rune's position is, to be honest. But could we be seeing a little bit of a later blooming of Brandon Nakashima, 23 years old? He's been a bit more battle-tested now, gone through a few tournaments, and starting to really find his feet in Grand Slams. Maybe the US Open is the one where he can finally go deep in a tournament, because I don't believe his draw is actually too bad. I mean, he's going to have to play Cazaux in the next round. He knocked out Carreño Busta. And then it could be a third round match of either Kecmanovic or Lorenzo Musetti. And I think if he plays like that, like he did against Holger Rune, I expect to see him in the third round. And then, well, You got Sasha Zverev potentially as a fourth-round opponent there. Most likely it would be him. But he has done well against Zverev in the past, and that was not the type of player he is right now. To go back to Holger Rune, though, and focus on him, I saw a tweet go out the other day, and I thought it sort of hit the nail on the head. Are we thinking of him in too high a regard now? Is he actually the next big thing, or is this just the way he is? Is he just a type of player who isn't going to be that consistent? He is going to have like spells of brilliance, and we're never going to see a level of consistency over a whole season. And they said he is pretty much where he should be, around 15 in the world, performs well against some big players sometimes, has a good tournament here and there, but very unpredictable when it comes to the slams. You can't really rely on him. I mean, if this was, I know you can't really do the tennis maths. If this was Carlos Alcaraz, let's say, or even Jannik Sinner, because they're the only two that we're really going to throw into the comparison right now, I think they would have shown a lot more fight in this match against Nakashima. I think Holger Rune, when he's losing, he goes away quickly. I don't see the level of fight in him to come back in this type of match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if this was Carlos Alcaraz and he was down 2-0 and down a break, I'd expect him to be doing everything possible to try and get the crowd on his side. I mean, it's difficult against an American, but he would be doing everything, pulling out all the stops, chasing down every ball, minimizing every mistake possible and putting the pressure onto Nakashima. I didn't see that from Holger Rune, and I just wonder what he's thinking now. Does he just go and sit in the dressing room and just think like what went wrong today? Where could I have improved? Like, I mean, we know the talent is in there. Someone needs to draw it out of him on a more consistent basis. I feel it needs to be like a better team around him of coaching staff or mentors, this type of thing. But he definitely, at the moment, is struggling, definitely on the consistency side. But fair play to Nakashima. I would love to see Nakashima go far in a slam. And if he gets a couple more convincing wins under his belt, then he may go into a match with Sasha Zverev come the fourth round and be brimming with confidence, which could be pretty scary prospect for someone like Zverev as well. Obviously, you've got the serve to contend with, though, with Zverev. Moving on from Holger Rune, but tell me your thoughts about Holger in that comment section. I want to know your thoughts on him. Do you think, is there just a ceiling for him at the moment? Do you think he can surpass it? Do you think he's just sort of petering out a little bit and never going to reach those dizzy heights? Let's move on to somebody else who, I love speaking about, and it is the man who comes through with a bit of revenge as well. It was, in fact, Novak Djokovic coming through in the late match on Arthur Ashe, and he becomes the man with the most wins on Arthur Ashe in history. And he said, I wasn't aware of it, to be honest. It's the biggest stadium, definitely the loudest we have in the history of our sport. The night sessions are the best in the world on Arthur Ashe ever. Since the roof was introduced, it became even louder. Electric atmosphere, incredible energy. Obviously, with some new rules this year, with the crowd able to move around, there are a lot of things happening on court. We're clocking midnight right now. I love the night sessions. Maybe not this late, but nevertheless, it was great fun. I want to thank everybody for staying. I appreciate you. The reigning champion, Novak Djokovic, got past Radu Albot in straight sets. And I thought it was interesting. He had to go to the panel afterwards to have an interview post-match as well. And he said about his motivation for this match, which is interesting to see where he pulls his motivation from. And Radu Albot apparently has beaten both of his brothers who were professional tennis players, and that was one he needed to get back for them, which very interesting. So he said, I did this for you, and we'll have a very happy household in the Djokovic family tonight. So it's good to see that he's just finding little things to motivate himself. I don't think he was ever really in any doubt of beating Radu Albot. But Albot played some good shots in the match, had some moments where he ran Djokovic around, but Djokovic looks A grade right now. I mean, he's followed on straight from the Olympics, and there's just a level of confidence right now with Novak Djokovic where I'm not sure who's going to be able to get him off a tennis court other than somebody who might be able to maintain a high level over 5 sets and be able to push him all the way to the limit and be serving very, very well. I mean, there's a lot of boxes you got to tick to be able to beat Novak Djokovic. But the only thing Djokovic doesn't have on his side right now is the fact that no one's defended the US Open since 2008 when Roger Federer did it. Doesn't mean he can't do it. He is focused on getting number 25, and I fully believe that he has a huge chance of doing it. Obviously, he's on the opposite side of the draw to Carlos Alcaraz, so he wouldn't have to meet either Sinner or Alcaraz until the final, which is a bonus. And Sasha Zverev, who knows? Will he even make it to the semi-final? Obviously, this is very early doors. But Djokovic, I've been watching him practice this week. I've been watching Alcaraz practicing this week. And I thought it's very interesting to see the way their practice sessions are. And I was watching Alcaraz first, and I just thought it's just great fun to just see all of the elements that they're practicing on, like second serves, kick serves, forehands, backhands. And when I was watching Alcaraz, I just thought, God, this guy just looks seriously good. He was trying the drop shots all the time. Looked so impressive. But then when Djokovic came on the court, I just thought, this guy's like a machine. He just looked like every single shot that he was hitting, even in practice, it's just so well oiled. He's hit that same shot, those same serves, those same backhands, forehands, so many, it's like millions of times that he just knows exactly where to put every ball. He can put exactly any pace he wants on every single ball. I mean, it was another level of just practice for me. And that's just him on a practice court. I'm even blown away by watching him practice. He has a lot of fans there at the moment chanting his name. It was making him smile. He's been carrying a new gold bag around as well, which I absolutely love. And he's been wearing the gold medal around as well. Why not do that? Come on, Djokovic. He is through, obviously, to the next round. And I expect him to get through that one as well. Moving on to some more sad news, the men's side. And it was the end of the road for US Open matches for the likes of a former champ, Dominic Thiem. Got his moment in front of the crowd after he won his only major without the fans on, Ash. Yeah, it was crazy. The only time he won a slam was no fans in the stands to be there celebrating it. The ending may be a sad one, but what an amazing player. Yeah, most definitely. One of the most sad stories, I think, to come out of tennis in recent years, to be honest. Dominic Thiem, so much promise, so much ability. One of the only players who could challenge the likes of a Djokovic or a Nadal, and that's on multiple surfaces as well. Was able to defeat Daniel Medvedev, I remember. I think it was at Australian Open. I think it was straight sets as well. I mean, just had some crazy, crazy wins. Beat Zverev in that final at the US Open. And then after that, after he got the wrist injury, I've never seen a more catastrophic demise from such a high to such a low, really. Not being able to compete anywhere near the level. I mean, it must have been so frustrating for him. It must still be that tennis sort of passed him by as he had to sit out for all of that time. And well, it was a very, very exciting time when Dominic Thiem was playing his top tennis. He gave me some amazing memories, and hopefully gives us a few more before he completely packs the game in. And fair play to Ben Shelton as well, who did knock him out of the tournament, but he signaled to the crowd to give him the cheers. Obviously, it's an American crowd. They'll be cheering for Shelton, but he recognises greatness as well. Dominic Thiem, if you're a young fan coming into the sport now and you didn't see him back in his heyday, I mean, one of the most exciting players on the tour, and unfortunately the injury spoiled it for everyone, really. Another player who bears the US Open a tearful goodbye, which is Diego Schwartzman, someone we've spoken to on the podcast. Very sad to see him bow out. He obviously got all the way through qualifying, which was really impressive. He hasn't looked great in recent times, but did that, got to play Gael Monfils and went out in 4 sets. When they put together some of his best moments, like on the screen, so special moments like you saw on the screen. Once again playing it 11 times. I did great, but I think the entire crowd today, the years before, all the Latin American people and all the American people here, I don't know why they take care of me so good every year. I'm not sure if I deserve it or not, but I'm really grateful about all the years I've been here. I want to say thank you one more time to all the people here and who are watching on TV. I never dreamed of these kind of moments. I ran so much, and maybe I deserve it now. I'm happy to have these moments. Congrats, Gael, for one more time to you and your team. I will enjoy every single moment from now on. I want to say thank you. And he did say, I'm sorry for crying, but yeah, I do cry a lot. That's just one of the things. He's just an emotional guy. I think one of the most likable players on the tour. He'll be missed at a slam, but we don't want to see players playing like past their sell-by date, really. I feel like Diego, he's not that competitive anymore at the big tournaments, so probably good. It is his last US Open. Moving on to the women's and a bit more upbeat news as well. There was a fantastic performance from a young phenom by the name of Iva Jovic, and she's 16 years old, and she beat Magda Linette 6-4, 6-3 to reach the second round of the US Open. Fantastic. Love to see one of these stories where you've got somebody who's only been playing juniors, now finally coming through to play her first ever WTA main draw event, and it being at the US Open is pretty big. She played fantastically well. Really good hard hitting from the baseline. Magda Linette actually was playing all right. There was a few sloppy errors in there, but you got to stand strong in those rallies, and I thought she really gave a good showing of herself. And like TikTok Tennis are saying here, the American had a stellar junior career, capturing the doubles title at the Australian Open and Wimbledon. And that's just her doubles, really. I mean, if you go back to last year, she was the runner-up at the US Open juniors in the singles and the doubles. I mean, so she's a great doubles and singles player. If you go to the Australian Open juniors, she won the doubles and she came runner-up in the singles. I mean, so you see, she's going deep at all of these junior slam events. In the French Open, I believe it was just quarterfinals for her, so maybe clay, not a thing. But got to the final in the doubles as well. That's what I mean. There's always something good there. And I believe she got to, she obviously won Wimbledon in the doubles, and she got to the semi-finals in the singles as well. So going deep in all of these junior events and now doing it on the main tour, it's fantastic. What a story this is. And where has she come from? It seems like these players sometimes come out of the blue, but obviously she's been plying her trade in the junior circuit, doing well. Always should keep your eyes peeled on the junior slams, because that's sometimes where we get our next big stars coming out. And she, being a wild card into this event, obviously, taking out the world number 42, and she was recently snapped up by Naomi Osaka's talent agency, Evolve, as well, which is brilliant for her. And great, Naomi Osaka recognizing that this could be a future young talent on the tour. I think it's fantastic. And just reading a little bit of her Wikipedia as well, saying that she is born of father Bojan and Jelena, both from Serbia as well. So there you go. But she's from Torrance in California, but resides in LA. Began playing tennis at the age of 5. So look at that. Serbia, they produce some pretty good tennis players. Obviously, being in the US as well, they will love that. Being at the US Open, sort of like a perfect blend for this US Open, I think. But well done to her. An absolutely fantastic performance. And I can't wait to see how she gets on for the rest of the tournament. I mean, if she was able to get past Linette in the first round, does she stand a chance in the second round? She's playing Alexandrova second round. Alexandrova sometimes can be a bit up and down with her performances. She's very, very seasoned, though. I mean, a match we'd love to see. If she beat her, she could face Sabalenka in the third round. I mean, sign me up for that one. But I think you're going into another level of power if you go and play the likes of Sabalenka, who, let's move on to her. She beat Priscilla Hon 6-3, 6-3. The last time Arena played a match at the US Open, she was one set away from winning the title. She's back with a vengeance, 6 consecutive wins, including a win over the world number 1, 12 consecutive sets won. She's trophy hunting in New York, and there's the picture of the tiger as well. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely the favorite. Scary, scary prospect right now, Arina Sabalenka. She's my favorite to win the whole thing. I think she's got a decent draw as well. Only she will be able to lose it, I feel, this whole tournament. If she plays the way she played in Cincinnati, I feel that she wins the US Open at a canter. Sorry to anybody else who's out there, but we know she only struggles with the mental side of the game. The physical side is there for all to see. Somebody who struggles with a bit of both and is out in the first round, as Jose Morgado says, Maria Sakkari and slams. It's a curse. As she goes out due to retirement in her first round match. I mean, I don't know where to start with her. I'm not going to go on and harp on about Maria Sakkari in this one. I feel that she's probably feeling bad enough as it is. I'm disappointed. I thought she'd go through a few rounds at least. I didn't see her winning the tournament or anything like that, but this is just more bad news for her at slams, and the records are there for everyone to see. I don't think she's made it past first or second round for a very, very long time. I mean, I'll bring it up just quickly just so I can have a quick look, but it's getting bad now. Yeah, I mean, it's the third round actually. So yeah, she hasn't been past the third round since the Australian Open in 2022. So that is now 11 slams. A lot of first round exits in there as well. I mean, hopefully she gets the treatment. I feel like she needs to just take a step away, come back, get everything in order, and then she can really attack the rest of this career that she's got. Because there's a fighter in there, and there's a real player in there. We just need to see something a bit more from her. Let's go on to some of the matches that are going to be playing later today. And these are the picks from me. We got Jakub Mensik versus Felix Auger-Aliassime. Sinner versus McDonald. I'm interested to see how the crowd reacts. Obviously, it's an American crowd against Jannik Sinner. Will we hear some boos? I don't know. We got Ostapenko versus Osaka. That's really probably the pick of the day. Has to be, doesn't it? We got Raducanu versus Kenin. And we've got Andreescu versus Paolini. I mean, sign me up for pretty much all of those. They look fantastic. I'll be rounding up those tomorrow. So make sure to join us again tomorrow for a roundup of that. And I know that something that was forgotten during the draw preview, sorry, there's been a lot going on, been moving flat. There's a lot of work going on in the day job as well. JG's in Italy, as you know. So I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row. And I forgot player roulette. But it's probably good for some people because if you would have got Holger Rune, now he's out. So I've removed Holger Rune from the draw. And I thought I'd do it a different way. And I'll put them in order of who's left in it as betting odds rather than doing it via seeds. So you're going to have the favorites, essentially, the top 22, and I'll get the wheel spinning and you can all see who you're going to get. Right, here we go. So I'll count this down so everybody can see. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. There we go. Who have you got? We've got Djokovic is Hassan Baksmati. Jean is Carlos Alcaraz. Linette is Yannick Sinner. We got Zverev, Michael Walker. Medvedev, JG. Rublev, so iconic. I'm Taylor Fritz. We've got Ben Shelton, GSL. Tommy Paul, Zach Shahan. We've got Musetti, Colby Kelly. Ray C. Berrettini. ADM as Thomas Rock. TFO Tennis for me, Korda Bill Ridgway, Dimitrov Kathy, we've got Tsitsipas Aman Kassam, Felix Lewis Bell, Hurkacz Nils Holgersson, Jack Draper is Adrian Kohlberg, we got Alexei Poprin as Daniel McCormick, Casper Ruud, Chris Forberg, and Yuri Lehechka as Nancy Fatsafone. But that's my roundup of day one. Let me know your thoughts about your views of day one in that comment section. I want to hear what you thought about it. Was there a match I didn't speak about? Sorry, there's so many going on, but I've just got to give you a roundup of what I saw and just pick some main topics I can really go into detail on. But if you haven't already, make sure to hit a like, subscribe, listen to us on Spotify as well. JG will be back tomorrow. And that's it. See you for day 2.